What's up guys, John Quinton here. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to overcome the fear that's keeping us in debt. But before we get to that, we actually need to ask ourselves, is fear actually keeping us in debt? And so when I think back to my own experience of getting out of $160,000 worth of debt and trying to actually stay out of debt now, I can see how much fear played a part in that whole experience. And it's interesting looking back how it actually plays on both sides. So there's the fear that you'll never get out of debt, the fear that because of the debt you have, you'll never be able to live the life that you want to live, the fear of how much work it's going to take to get out of the debt you have, the fear of going back into debt once you get out. So if left unchecked, fear has the power to make us slaves to it and even leave us feeling paralyzed. And so dealing with fear is not an uncommon thing, right? So if you find yourself in that situation, you can have comfort in knowing that you're not alone. There's other people going through this. If you feel stuck, if you feel held back, or if you feel paralyzed by fear. So how do I know fear is something that we're all dealing with? Well, the most shared Bible verse of 2022 gave me a clue. If you have your Bibles, go with me to the book of Isaiah, the 41st chapter and 10th verse. But before I get to the verse, you see, the Lord, you see. Just kidding. According to YouVersion, the most shared Bible verse in 2022 is Isaiah 41:10. And that says, "Don't be afraid, I am with you. Don't tremble with fear. I am your God. I will make you strong as I protect you with my arm and give you victories." So in the whole world, Isaiah 41:10 was the most shared, bookmarked, and highlighted verse in 2022. The whole world. You don't even really have to be a Christian for this to even apply to you, right? We're all human. We all deal with fear. We all have the same emotions. So I'm sure at some point you've experienced fear that may have been overwhelming and you needed somebody to come behind you and say, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. You don't have to be afraid. That's something that we all experience, right? So we've all heard the saying, paralyzed with fear. And so paralysis is defined as the loss of the ability to move and sometimes to feel anything in part or most of the body, typically as a result of illness, poison, or injury. So for the sake of argument, let's just imagine fear is the illness, poison, or injury that leads to paralysis. So how do you overcome paralysis? How do you overcome fear? You overcome by having the ability to do something that frightens you. And that can be summed up in one word: courage. Unchecked fear causes paralysis. But courage in the face of fear causes movement. So you want to overcome the fear that's keeping you in debt? Then get moving. Have the courage to evaluate your life. Have the courage to establish a vision. Have the courage to make a plan. Have the courage to execute your plan. Have the courage to stick to the plan when it gets hard. Have the courage to keep going when people don't agree with you. Have the courage to face down fear when it knocks on the door of your mind and your heart. Have the courage to start turning those negative what ifs that are floating around in your head into positives. What if I never get out of debt? What if I get out of debt? What if it's too hard? Even though it's hard, what if I do it anyway? What if I fall back into debt? What if I put plans in place to never get into debt again? Conquering fear and getting out of debt is totally possible in your life. All it's going to take is for you just to have a little bit of courage and then to move. Just a little bit. Why? Because even the smallest amount of light is visible in the dark. If you like this video and found the content valuable, please hit that like and subscribe button and help me get to 200 subscribers by the end of 2022. There are tons of videos right now that you could be watching, but you decided to watch mine, and I greatly appreciate it. Next week, I'll have an update in my emergency fund series on how much I've saved so far. So please subscribe so you don't miss out on that. If you didn't see the first video in that series, that is up on the channel, so you can check that out in the meantime. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.